Welcome to Season 7 of Be a Baller, the podcast where success isn't the goal, legacy is. This season is all about intentional living, leading with purpose, serving with faith, and leaving a mark that outlives us. We go beyond the highlights, bringing you real conversations with legacy builders from ministry, business, sports, education, and community. Leaders committed to the Wisdom Pledge, paying it forward to the next generation. If you're ready for faith-filled leadership and practical wisdom to live on purpose and finish strong, let's be a baller, legacy style.
Welcome to a special Fatherhood Month episode of the Be a Baller podcast. Today's episode is part of our Pass the Torch Generational Legacy series. This series is sponsored by First Merchants Bank, helping you prosper. Joining us today are Jason Singleton Jr. and Jason Singleton Sr. Jason Sr. is Director of Athletics at Columbus Academy, former Ohio State basketball captain, and leader of the Buckeyes' 1999 Final Four team. Was that fun or not?
Oh, yeah, it was a great time.
His career has included professional basketball, education, mentoring young men, young people, and athletic administration. His son, Jason Jr., has carved out an impressive path of his own, a four-star recruit and one of the top basketball prospects in the nation. He recently completed an outstanding career at Columbus Academy that include over 1,000 career points, Ohio Division V State Player of the Year honors, conference championships, state championship appearance, and now prepares to continue his academic and athletic journey at Harvard University. Today, we're talking about family, fatherhood, basketball, leadership, legacy, and what it means to really pass the torch from one generation to the next. Gentlemen, welcome to Be a Baller podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man, I had to give y'all a good introduction because we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. Y'all got so much to talk about, but I'm going to get it all in. I ain't leaving anything there.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Bless you. So let's jump in and talk about how important family is and the foundation of family. Jason, take me back to you growing up. I think from Detroit, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, take me back to your family found growing up.
Yeah, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. I like to say on the corner of Assault and Battery. It wasn't the greatest neighborhood. My mom raised me as a single parent. Mm-hmm. And, you know, she did a phenomenal job of keeping me involved in sports and keeping me involved in traveling and just providing lots of exposure for me so I can see that there are other options in the world. And I think traveling and just seeing the world at a young age was something that helped me. And just I had so many good coaches who were role models and mentors. And, you know, although I have a small family, I realize how important, family is.
Jason, can you also share about what values were poured into you that you're now trying to pass on to your children?
Growing up in Detroit, it's a blue-collar city. So I learned the value of just, grinding, putting your hard hat on, going to work, no days off, and just putting in the time and the commitment. My grandfather worked for Chrysler all his life. I have one of my first cousin. He's like a brother to me. He's been at Chrysler all his life. Detroit is just a blue collar town, and I've learned that whatever I do, you're not going to outwork me.
Jason Jr., growing up, what lessons did you learn from watching your father that had nothing to do with basketball?
Kind of like what he just said, just to work hard in everything that you do, no matter if it's sports, school, treating your family right, just whatever you do, work hard and put your all into it.
As a father, what has been more important to you, raising a successful athlete or raising a successful young man?
Definitely raising a successful young man. And I always, knew that, athletics was going to work out. But, I wanted to make sure that I had a son and a daughter who were good people, good quality citizens, good friends. I wanted my son to be good to his sister and for her to be good to him and just treat people with respect. And if I can install those good core values, I knew that everything else would work out.
Jason Jr., I know you're soft spoken like your dad, but you on my podcast. I'm gonna get something out of you. I'm gonna loosen both of y'all up in a minute, But Jason Jr., when people see your accomplishments, they see the player, what do they not see about your family that helps shape what you become?
I mean, yeah, just being like my support system, no matter if it's my dad, my sister, my mom, even like my grandparents, uncles and stuff, they all are kind of there for me all the time outside of sports. So whatever I'm dealing with, I can kind of talk to them and I know they'll always be there for me.
You know, as we think about family, what are some family values that have become an important part of the Singleton family culture?
I would say integrity. I think family, we try to, live the right way, and we realize that if we're good people, good things are going to happen for us. We preach that over and over and over again. Sometimes you're going to have roadblocks and hurdles that's going to come up in life. But if we're, God-fearing and, loving, then everything's going to work out.
Jason Jr., what is, we talk in sports a lot about culture, how important culture is. What is the Singleton family culture? How would you describe your family culture?
Just as one, I'd say, I mean, even if whatever's going on in our family, we're still always like one together, always love each other, always support each other, always want what's best for each other, always pushing each other to be our best.
Great. And you guys have done an excellent job with that, excellent job with that. Jason Jr., at what point did you realize basketball could become a major part of your future?
I mean, I kind of feel like I always knew that I could be good, but I'd say probably my sophomore year is when I realized like I could actually be pretty good and be a real Division I player. But growing up, I always had like that dream and thought like I know I can if I really try and put effort into it. But sophomore years, I feel like when I realized I can really do this.
Yeah, take me back to that moment. I know there's a moment in that sophomore year. Was that when you dunked on somebody, or what was that moment when you said, "Hey, I can be good at this game"?
Probably the last game of sophomore year in the district championship. We lost, but I had a pretty good game, and then that kind of got me going, got my confidence going, knowing that I could really do it.
Good, great. Jason, I might have to call you Juice a few times, but how do you balance being a father while also being someone who understands the game at a very high level?
I feel like that's probably one of the most challenging things, trying to teach him and my daughter athletics and sports and the game beyond the game. It's such a mental game, and I also don't want to lecture them, and I know they don't want to hear it sometimes. So I have to be strategic on, when I say something, when I don't, how much I say, how much I don't. Most of the times they don't want to hear from their parents, and I tell them both a lot. I feel like I have the answer to the test, and I'm trying to give that to you and trying to help you so you don't make some of the mistakes that I made. And I think they both do a good job of listening. And one of my my brother-in-law, he always said, Jason is listening. He just may not listen the way I want him to listen, but he's listening.
Yeah, I found with young men and working with young guys, a lot of lessons that we teach them, they're not necessarily taught, but they're watching. They catch them. And I think that's what the brother-in-law is saying is you may not sit down and taught them something, but they're watching how we handle things. They're watching how we do certain things. Then they catch, that's how I'm supposed to handle that. And I'm sure you've seen some situations where he's done some things, and you look at, I told you that, but that's how it works. That's how it works, which is a great thing. Speaking of that, what was the best advice your father ever gave you? Basketball advice. Let's go basketball advice first.
Best basketball advice. I'd probably just say, just making sure I work hard right now so I don't have to work as hard later in life. Like, make sure I get it all, take advantage of everything. He's told me like I don't want to regret not working hard in the moment, and so when I get older, I'll be like, I wish I would have done this. So just working hard in the moment so I don't have any regrets. And
for the audience, you can't see this, but Dad is beaming over there, listening. All this stuff. You remember that? That's so true. That's so true. Another question for you: did you ever feel pressure because people knew your father played at Ohio State? Did you ever feel pressure? He's athletic director of the academy. You're a student there. Did you ever feel pressure?
Not really. Definitely not in like recent years. Maybe when I like first started kind of growing up, but like I don't feel like I've ever really felt pressured to live up to what he's what he's built, not in the way like that people would think.
Mm. Speaking of that, Juice, when did you realize that your son was creating his own legacy, rather than simply following yours?
I think, he's always kind of carved out his own path. He played baseball and was a really good baseball player, and he ran cross country. He's a really good athlete, but I think really watching him excel at Columbus Academy in the classroom is when I realized, okay, he's doing his own thing. He gets it. He's mature. He's smart. Like, he's so well rounded, and I feel like he sprinted past me.
Good stuff. What's your this is for both of you all. What's your favorite father-son basketball memory together?
The kids they're getting older now, and they're about to be out the house. My favorite moments were, taking them up to Ohio State, lowering the rims, and having them, shoot baskets and train. Me being their trainer, training in the at Ohio State, and there's just so much. I'm teaching them everything, and they're learning everything, and they're sponges, and it's hard to take those moments back. It just seemed like yesterday, but it was a while ago.
Yeah, that's definitely, I'd say, one of mine. Like, back then, maybe when we go up to like Ohio State and practice, I wouldn't really. Sometimes I'd be like mad or know that would go, but like now when I look back and see, like, there's a couple pictures when we were there. It's like look back and see how cool that was. But probably some of these, like the last 2 years, are state championship runs. He's been at like all the games and stuff, and just seeing him happy for me and like him cheering and stuff.
Jason, you accomplished a lot in high school basketball. Which one of those achievements means the most to you, and why? You 100,000 career points, all state. I think you're a McDonald's All-American nomination. Of all that, what achievement means the most to you, and why?
Definitely back-to-back state championship appearances. Why? Because Columbus Academy, we haven't been there since 1981, so getting there last year was really big for us, like first time since in 40 plus years. So seeing our community kind of build up together and to support us, and then getting back this past year for a second time in a row was really big.
Juice, what accomplishment makes you most proud as a father, not as an athletic director or a basketball person?
Right now, I think, living in Columbus, Ohio, it's Buckeye country, and, everyone, recognizes me as a Buckeye, and they say, hey, that's Jason Singleton. Now, I walk through the halls and they say, that's Jason Singleton's dad. So he's like the star and the celebrity, and, it's pretty cool to have a piece of me walking around, this earth doing some amazing things.
That's good. That's good. Junior, why was Harvard the right fit for you?
I'd say first, my relationship and connection with the coaching staff. I feel like throughout the whole coaching staff, from Coach Towns, Coach Emmerker, Coach Satsky, everybody kind of just poured into me, would text me weekly, show up to my games and stuff. So just the connection and trust there, knowing if I go far away, I would have like another family kind of there. Then also the academics and stuff, which is really big to me and my family. Going to Columbus Academy, like my whole life, academics has been huge. So just making sure I carry on and setting myself up for the future.
Jason Singleton, Senior, we have to go there now. What does it mean to see your son not heading to Ohio State, to play basketball, but heading to one of the world's most respected universities? What does that mean to you?
I'm so proud of him. I mean, he's exceeded all expectations. And we've always wanted him to go to where it's the best fit for him. And we feel like Harvard is the best school in the world, and there's a lot of people who can't get into Harvard. They have the highest rate of acceptance rate, and it's or the lowest acceptance rate, and it's very, very hard and very prestigious. And for him to get in says a lot about him and who he is, and we're really proud of him.
Chase, Junior, for some young high school guys listening to this, how have you worked academics and athletics together and reaching your goals. Can you share some wisdom with these young guys on how those two work together?
I mean, yeah, I kind of like to build both of them off of each other. I know in the back of my mind, if I have athletics to do, I know I'm going to have to put in late nights and stuff. So I know I have to get my work done kind of in school or whenever I can. So I feel like basketball has really helped me in the classroom because it makes me have to do my work and make sure I really have to zone in on that. So I'm just saying, making sure I like remember to do both. Like I'm a student athlete at the same time. So just making sure I get what I needed to get done in the classroom first.
Good. Classroom first. Great. Yeah, that's a good word. You know, as we come around the corner a little bit, we began talking about passing this torch and getting that torch to the next generation. Senior, what does pass the torch mean to you as a father?
Passing the torch is almost like a rite of passage, and I've done pretty much everything I can to try to lay the foundation for him to be successful in life. You know, my job is to teach and educate him and to protect him and to love him, and I feel like I've done that. And now, you know, in August, he's going to be going out into the world on his own, and I feel like he's ready. He's mature. He's prepared, and I think we definitely passed the torch.
You know, Jason, as you prepare for Harvard, what lessons from your father will you carry with you every day?
Mm-hmm. I mean, definitely, like I said, just working hard. I'm going to make sure I work hard in the classroom, work hard on the court just to get the most out of everything that I can. So I know while I'm down there, I'm going to be by myself, but just to work as hard as I can so I can get the most out of it and prepare myself for my future.
You know, Jason, see, raising a young man in today's world is different. You know, as you spoke earlier, when we came up, we saw work. We saw that work ethic. You know, what qualities do you believe young men need most in today's world?
Resilience, grit. I think those are two things. I mean, you're going to face some tough situations. You're going to face some hard times, but I also feel like you learn a lot of life lessons. You learn a lot of life lessons through sports, and those two-a-days and conditioning and all the things that help you in sports are transferable skills in life. And I tried to be a tough player and a gritty player, and now in the workplace when I'm working and in life, whether I'm doing yard work or in the office, I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to be tough and gritty. And I think you need that in life. Life is going to be tough on you, so you're going to have to be ready for it.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure your wife heard that you do yard work. Don't be up in here. You're on the road all the time. I want to go see this yard work you doing. Jason Jr., what do you admire most about your father as a man?
Yeah, just his hardworking abilities. I mean, like we've both said, just seeing him put in hard work every day, no matter what he does. If it's yard work, shoveling the snow, going to work early in the morning, staying late at night, helping other people get better, just seeing him work hard and put his everything into everything he does.
Senior, we can learn a lot from our children, a whole lot from them. What has your son taught you about leadership and parenting?
When I'm around him, I feel like I do learn a lot about myself, because like he's me, and he's quiet and I'm pretty quiet. So sometimes I'm thinking, man, what is he thinking and what's going on in his life and what's going on in his world? And then I have to think to myself, man, people are probably saying the same thing about me. So I think just having my double, my twin walking around on this earth, I'm able to look at him and learn more about myself. And I learned so much about myself just when I'm talking to him. And it's almost kind of scary, seeing someone who looks like me, someone the same size, someone who's almost as athletic as me. It's crazy. I really do learn a lot about myself.
That's good. Speaking of this athletic piece, who's the best athlete in the family? Or you guys played one. When did you actually beat your dad? When was the first time you beat your dad?
He's too scared to play me. I've been playing him since I was like 9 years old. So
Okay, he don't even want to play. He don't want to get out there no more. Huh?
That's a good question because he's never beaten me before.
He just said you stopped playing at 9. Look good. That's good. Junior, when you eventually become a father, what parenting lessons would you want to carry forward?
Going back to just hard work and resilience. I mean, just want to make sure my kids work hard in everything that they do, no matter if they don't want to play sports, if it's in sports, or whatever they do, work hard, and then also like trust in your family and support your family.
As we think about this particular chapter of the Singleton family life, with you and your wife and your 2 children, how do you hope future generations of the Singleton family will remember this part of your guys' story?
Yeah, I hope that my great grandchildren know who I am and know the sacrifices that we put in for our kids. Lots of time, lots of miles on the car, lots of financial pains, but we did it all for those generations, and a lot of the things I'm doing for his kids. Mm-hmm. So, now his kids have a chance to get into Harvard. Mm-hmm. My mom, she wasn't able to get into Ohio State, but I was, mm-hmm. and she did that for me, and she sacrificed for me, and I saw that. So now I did everything I could to sacrifice for him. So I'm hoping that he sees that he has to do the same for his grandkids, mm-hmm. and then that will just be a snowball effect, and hopefully we've set the Singleton family up for forever.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff, Junior. When you look back at this, future generations look back at your time at your time at Columbus Academy and all. What do you want to remember about this chapter?
I mean, this specific chapter. I mean, just getting ready. Like I said, trying to get ready for college and make sure I can get the most out of college on the court and academically, so I can set myself up for my own future, then for my kids' future, then I have to keep going on from there.
Junior, I don't want to let this one go yet. Talk about the relationship between you and your sisters. Is it competitive over there? What's the deal? Because she's a pretty good athlete too, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty competitive, but like between us two, we're not really competitive that much over sports. Like we're super supportive of each other. Like she just got first team all state for lacrosse and stuff. She just finished her lacrosse season, so CBL player of the year and everything. So we're super supportive of each other. We know how good each other are as athletes, but I mean, we joke about how like, oh, I'm a better athlete than you, but we're super supportive of each other.
Good stuff. All right, here comes the rapid fire time. Now, in this rapid fire time, I'm gonna ask a question, and I just need one word. Just one word answer. Just one word answer. I don't need a long Columbus Academy dissertation. Not a Harvard PhD story. Just one word. Just one word. I'll give you a couple words. Let's start with senior first. Best lesson basketball has taught you.
Use a phrase?
Yeah, use a phrase. I'll take it.
Use basketball. Don't let basketball use you.
I know where that one's from. First team basketball. Good
First
stuff.
Team.
That's good. That's good. Junior, give me a word that describes your dad.
I mean, I've said it, I feel like a lot, but hardworking.
Hard work. Senior and junior, it's for both of you guys. What is your favorite family tradition?
We can agree. Movie night.
Movie night. That's it. What's been the latest movie? What's been the last movie that we've agreed on?
Michael Jackson.
That's it.
Michael
Got
Jackson
to be.
movie, yeah.
Got to be Michael. Got to be Michael. What's your favorite family? When y'all can agree, that's good.
Probably that. We've watched a lot of movies over the past couple of years, starting probably like COVID. During COVID, we watched a lot of movies, but we try to watch a decent amount of movies when we're all together and not too busy.
Right. Junior, what is your most memorable game? Take me to that most memorable game.
I mean, maybe right now, I don't know about a single game, but like there was a lot of memorable games this playoff run last year, from that Harvest Prep game to Afrocentric Margaretta. There were some memorable games. Those three, I'd say, are really memorable.
Good. Senior, what would you say is the most important leadership quality?
I think understanding when to lead and when to follow. Even as a leader, sometimes you got to follow.
Good. Junior, Harvard in one word. Just one word.
Harvard? The best.
Good. The best. Junior, we'll give you this one. What's your biggest dream beyond basketball?
I'd say just have a loving family, a family like a real support system, something I can build off of. Just a family that I can call mine.
Good. And the last one for you, Senior, just a legacy in one word. I'm sorry, not in one word, in one sentence. In one sentence. What's legacy in one sentence?
I would say that it's fulfilling all the dreams that I've had. We are the dream of dreamers. So, my grandfather and great-great-grandfather, they were slaves, and they worked so hard for us to be able to go to a school like Columbus Academy or Ohio State or Harvard, and I want to pay it forward, and I want to be able to do the same and open up even more doors for generations to come.
That's good. Junior, I've noticed that you've started a foundation, working on some things. I say you're doing a basketball camp. What kind of legacy do you hope you're building that goes beyond basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to give kids like an opportunity, like we're having, you said, our free youth basketball camp. Just give kids, so we're also doing a giveaway, so give them a couple of hours just to come get better, play basketball, get some school supplies. So just helping kids out in the community.
And I think what your dad was saying about that legacy, about that opportunity that we have, to be a blessing, And we know that God has blessed us with this blessing to be able to bless others. The gifts and talents He's given us are not really for us. They're for someone else. They're there for others, And we look back, I know you shared about your mom, and the sacrifice and those memories of your you mentioned your grandfather a couple of times. Give me a memory from your granddad that he may not know.
My grandfather, he pretty much, raised me, as he's a grandfather, but he's more like a father. And, he taught me how to drive a car. He did a lot of things around the house. Like, he was just that visible man. And I always say you can't be what you can't see. So, just seeing a good man, somebody who's, a loyal husband, somebody who is a good father, someone who's a good grandfather, a good brother. Like, he's just a good person. And, he was loving and, wanted me to have the world, but he also, was tough and would let you know what not to do, and that the world could be, a dangerous, scary place. So, I think, looking at him and my mom, that they're both like superheroes.
Junior, as we come around the corner, as we wrap up, what would you're on your way to Harvard now, you graduated from high school. Let's look back. What would you tell your younger self?
Just to stay the course. Growing up, it could have been kind of easy to kind of just to give up. It wasn't kind of like the highest ranked player, or didn't have a lot of the attention that I looked around at a lot of other people have. So just stay the course and keep working hard so I can get to where I want to be.
Senior, this is your younger self. So what would you tell that is your younger self? What would you tell your younger self going into college? When you came to Ohio State or whatnot, now he's going to Harvard, going to college. What would you tell your younger self?
Be true to yourself. You're surrounded by people who are going places, and there's going to be a lot of hanger-oners. There's going to be people who are going to try to bring you down, but you want to be surrounded by people who are going up and people who are doing positive things. And don't be afraid to be a leader.
That's good. That's good. Well, you guys have really blessed us today. Part of this series I'm doing is I think it's important that we showcase fathers and sons, or just men during this Fatherhood Month, because you and I know as dads, all we're gonna get is a pair of socks. The Mother's Day, the restaurants is packed. You can't even get in there. We can walk in anywhere on June 21. We don't need a reservation. But I think it's important that first off, that your son sees a man, sees him, like I said, being what he can see, seeing someone who's worked hard and who's sacrificed so much, for them to be in that position. But the blessing is that your children followed the plan. They followed the plan. And it wasn't always easy for them, I'm sure. You know, sometimes with Dad, why are we doing this? You know, my kids are playing video games or whatever. You know, why I got to go do it, but they followed the plan. And it's not over yet. It's not over yet. There's greater things. You know, what one generation does, another one's going to do in excess. You know, Dad came from Detroit, played Ohio State, did well overseas, and now the next generation is going to Harvard. Your daughter's going to Howard, I believe. You know, all state. You know, just the whole that's how. Just think what your grandkids going to do. You know,
Yeah.
You know. But that's what this is all about. And that's why we do what we do as fathers. You know, it's not about us. It's about because someone did it for us. You talked about your grandfather. There was a man in our lives, you know, who supported us in this. So I want to thank you both for being a part of this. And I want to continue. I want a person to know that these are men who believe in the Lord, who know that God has been good, that God has blessed us. And so I want to thank you all for joining us for this special Fatherhood Month episode of Be a Baller podcast. Today, Jason Sr. and Jason Jr. reminded us that the greatest victories in life aren't measured by points scored, championships won, or scholarships earned. They're measured by character, by being men of integrity. They're measured by relationships. They're measured by service to others. But most importantly, they're measured by values passed from one generation to the next. That's what generational legacy, passing the torch is all about. So until next time, keep pursuing excellence, keep investing in others, and keep building a legacy that lasts. This is the Be a Baller podcast, where we celebrate families who are making a difference in building a lifelong legacy. So I'm so excited for your future, but I'm even more excited for Mom and Dad. So once y'all get out the house, they can get their house back. You know, they can get their life back. But it's been good, and I want to thank you all for being a part of the show. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Business owners should consider leveraging their working capital assets, like accounts receivable and inventory, with a line of credit in order to maximize cash flow opportunities. A business line of credit gives you flexible access to funds when you need them most, and you only pay for what you use. It's a smart way to unlock liquidity, manage seasonal swings, and stay ready for unexpected expenses or new growth opportunities. This Helping You Prosper tip is brought to you by First Merchants Bank, member FDIC.
Thank you for spending time with us here on Be a Baller podcast. Remember, legacy isn't built by accident. It's built through daily choices, faithful obedience, and intentional impact. If today's conversation encouraged you, challenged you, or spoke to your heart, share this episode with a friend, a teammate, a leader, or someone who's ready to live with purpose. That simple act of sharing helps us grow the movement and spread legacy-minded living. We want to invite you to join the legacy movement. This is more than a podcast. It's a call to action. And one of the best ways to go deeper is by grabbing your copy of the book, Living a Legacy. It's a powerful resource designed to help you apply what you're hearing and start building something that truly lasts. Until next time, keep showing up, keep pouring into others, and keep building a legacy worth following. Thanks for listening, and remember, be a baller, live on purpose, leave a legacy.